What did you guys do? Someone tell me what you think you did. And that's exactly what I'm about to. Very good. What you guys did was just give me a bunch of examples of what heroes are. You never provided a definition. So according to the writing prompt, that is not necessarily writing to the prompt. So you're automatically between that 4 and 3. Put your numbers in the air if you see that. I want you to see what I mean by not really addressing the prompt. You guys gave brilliant, beautiful examples of what heroes were or are. You used the definition writing strategy perfectly, but none of you, to my knowledge, Ms. White graded over 60, so I'm not quite sure. You did not give me a definition. There was no clear definition of a hero of this concept, so therefore it was pretty hard to really say you addressed all parts of the writing prompt. Immediately, a lot of you went right into what is a hero. A lot of you gave these examples of heroes, but there was no clear elaboration. There was no connection back to your writing prompt. I'm going to give you my lesson, and then I'll take your questions. If you feel like you did these things, that's great. When we're working through the revision process, those are the notes you're going to take today. Because again, I can't recall who did what we're just talking about in general, what most of the kids did. So we're going to do a new term today, and the new term is going to help you with hero. Because your essay is about heroism, I couldn't use that term to model writing for you. So I chose the term happiness. In your groups, and not in your groups, with the person next to you. I'll do it that way. With the person next to you. There's 3 of you there, so I'm going to come and join. I want you to define happiness. And I want you to have a sentence for me, a definition, as if I was to look it up in a dictionary. What would I read? Got it? We're going to do 5 minutes, and you don't have to write it down if you can remember what you're going to say. Whoever's going to speak will need to tell it to me in a sentence. All right, so you two work together, me and you work together. If I were to define it, I would say feeling too. So like a feeling of what? That's where I'm stuck at. But definitely a feeling. It is a feeling. We know that. But what type of feeling is it? I know I feel good when I'm happy. So I can say a good feeling. What would you say? Talk to her. I know this white being here is intimidating. I get it. Okay, so you add anything to that, or is that okay? I mean, okay, so we have good feeling. We have that. So when we ask for your group, that's what we'll say. Happiness is a good feeling. Okay? Happiness can be defined as a good feeling.
I stayed up
When you are done, I need for you to get back quiet for me, please, so I can keep up with what group is done. All right, so we all defined happiness. I want you to tell me what process that you guys use to define happiness, and I want each group to share with me, please. I'm going to start with Avery's group.
You.
Karam, you're going to stay when the bell rings for homeroom. Avery's group. Share with me.
We said happiness means some type of pleasure.
All right, some type of pleasure. All right, Makia's group.
You said happiness.
We said happiness means like a joyful feeling that people have.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you, how did you guys come up with this?
It just popped right in my head. I just thought about how I feel when I'm happy.
Did you go through any type of process to come to this definition?
Yeah, we kind of did, because we had at first you said it's a person with, who has pleasure in their life, and then we had to think about it.
Okay, so you sifted through what you understood about the term. Okay, and you used what? Did you use any relatable experiences? What did you use? Previous examples? I mean, history? What do you use to get that? Come up with that. Kia, what did you guys use?
We was up with argument first, and then we had.
Oh my god. Okay, but what did you guys use? I want Kia to talk
We
now.
use process of elimination, and I thought of like how I feel.
Okay, she said she thought of what she felt when she was happy. That's how she came up with their definition. That's how they came to some agreement. Brandon's group, what did you guys come up with? And if you have the same thing, that's completely fine. Just give me how you came up with your definition. Okay, and how did you guys come up with that? Miss White? Miss White? Okay.
Just like
Okay. All right, Monica's group?
happiness is a feeling of good vibes
Okay.
or an emotion.
All right, so how did you come up with this?
Well, I just remember.
Okay, so you remember what it felt like? All right, I want you to tell me how you guys came up with your definition. I don't want to know your definition, just tell me how you came up with it.
We just used examples and just think about it.
Okay, so examples. If you're noticing, we're seeing a pattern here. To define something, we all have started with examples, right? That's that thinking process where we have to figure out what this looks like in our lives in order for us to be able to define it. Very, very good. Richie's group, how did you come up with yours?
Experience.
Okay, you use experiences, happy moments in your life. Okay, what about you guys?
We said that happiness is,
We just use past experience to.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
it has.
I don't want definition. I want how you. No, I want to know how you came up with it. That's what I want to know.
We use life experiences.
Okay, very, very good.
Experience.
Kaylin and I, we used experiences. Very good in Jacob's group.
Really
Just experiences. So we used examples, experiences. Very, very good. So that's how we define something. What was the process that you used to define a hero?
Example.
What did you use? How did you, when you started this essay Monday, I want you to tell me, what did you use? What was your mental process to define a hero?
Thinking all the stuff we read.
Let's use this. Amber.
Using all the different types of what a hero could be.
Okay, very, very good. Anyone have something different? Kanisha?
I just thought about like how I see on TV, like Superman, Batman, and things. I just thought about how I see them save lives.
Okay, she used the media.
I used the text that we read. That one.
He used the text and the video clips that we've read and watched in classroom. Very good, Sania.
I just thought about everyday heroes.
Okay, you thought about real. Okay, very, very good. Dathan.
Common sense.
Common sense. He used common
There are
sense.
no superpowers, so.
Okay, very, very good.
I used that passage we read about Anna. The one.
Oh, he used Anna. The passage about Anna to help him. Very, very good. Awesome.
Maybe stories that my friends told me about who they thought their hero was.
So she asked her friends. See, that's another great thing writers do. Writers, we might go through surveys. I put on Facebook all the time. When if I'm writing something, I will ask my friends first their ideas about it. And from that information, I can start my essay. That's the planning process. Very, very good. She asked her friends to give her some ideas. Very, very good. All of this is correct. This is what we mean by the mental process. So we are going back through these things because we have to make sure that we're writing on topic. Instead of jumping into what the examples of what a hero is, because that's exactly what you all did, we need to make sure that we're able to define a hero first before we get into our examples. So let's connect, let's go back to our bell ringer. It's up here, great. How is the bell ringer related to the revision process? How is doing this related to the revision process? Dathan?
It is technically a step of the revision process.
Okay, it's a step. Okay, Kanisha?
You have to go and you have to pick out what you feel was like mainly, like what the topic was mainly about. So you go back and you make new ideas and stuff like that.
Okay, this helped us figure out whether or not we're writing on topic. And this also helped us to improve our ideas. If I couldn't come up with my main message, that tells you what? What does that tell me if I couldn't come up with my main message? my main message. That means that I'm probably all over the place, right? I'm not necessarily writing to the topic, I'm all over the place. This is why I had you do this, because I wanted you to assess where you're at. This is the first step in the revision process, you guys. You have to go back through and make sure your ideas are clear. Your ideas are focused. And if your ideas are not clear or focused, then we have a huge problem. We have to go back to step one, which is coming up with a better thesis statement.
Ooh.
Yes, step one. All right, so this is where our notes for today come in. This is where our notes come in. All right, so, and for expository writing, this is a famous acronym that is used within our district. But to understand expository writing, because writing a definition essay is expository writing, we can use the DEAR acronym. We have to have vivid details, realistic examples, personal anecdotes, solid reasons. Solid reasons. And that is how you write to an expository prompt. And you know, I always put the notes on the website when I do remember. So if you don't get done in a timely manner, you can go there and get them to help you revise your essay this weekend. While you're writing, DC Trip Kids. The homework that you have to do this weekend means chapter 8 through 10. We're going to hold off on that, and we're going to do that when we get back, okay? I'd rather for you to have at least chapter 7, up to chapter 7 done, and the pages, because the revision of this is more important. So we can hold off on that. I know I won't see you next week, but I'm just letting you know that that's okay. Because this, I'm going to call your parents and let them know as well.
What if like you already finished? You just don't worry about it.
You went what?
What if you already finished all the pages?
If you finished everything, then you're already ahead.
Miss White, did you try and get in contact with my mom?
Mm-mm.
Good, because somebody was calling her last night. She was flipping out.
Oh no, I wasn't there. Anywho, I just wanted to put that little bug in your ear. Let's go to our next slide. Now this is basically overall in general how to write to an expository prompt. The next slide is what we need to improve our writing. This one is the most important one. Hi. When I taught on the high school level, my 10th and 11th graders were using Pi to help them elaborate on their points in their essay writing. So do not feel that it's too baby. It is a great way to make sure that you are hitting your main points and you are elaborating on your main points. While you're writing this, I'm going to put in your ear some of the things that I've seen. A lot of you just gave examples. You just stringed a whole bunch of examples together. In 4 or 5 sentences, you just gave me nothing but examples. There was not any clear elaboration. So I will say, if I had to assess your Pi writing, you only successfully met the P part. You made your point. But there was no illustration of this point, and there was no explanation that connect your point with your example. That is why we're going to work on this today. sure your pencil is down when you are done so I can keep up with who's working and who isn't. So what do I mean by make your point?
Pretty much get the point across, tell the reader why you're reading, or why you're writing the root of this.
Okay, so what part of writing would this be? If we had to associate the P with the writing, what part of the writing would this be in your body paragraphs?
Thesis.
It can, yes, your thesis and your
Introduction.
topic sentences, right? Your topic sentences. Maya, make sure you can see me. You can see me, Maya? Okay. All right. So make your point. These are your topic sentences in your body paragraphs. These are your topic sentences in your body paragraphs. Those first sentences for each body paragraph, that's where you make your point. What should come next is how you illustrate your point by describing an example and or using an illustration from a text. You have two ways that you can illustrate your point. You can provide an example from your own personal experiences, or, you know, your real life, or you can basically use an illustration from a text. A lot of you use illustrations from the text, and that's completely fine. You can use any of the texts that we've read that you feel help you define the concept of hero, define the word hero. And then, here's where we are still struggling here. After you provide the example, you can't just stop there, you guys. You have to explain why your illustration demonstrates your point. You provided this examples. My question to you is, so what? So what? You have to basically explain why so what. You have to now discuss how your example supports what you put as your topic sentence. Put your numbers in the air if you're seeing how to organize your writing using the PI strategy. And I'm telling you guys, when you're writing your body paragraphs, this strategy is going to help you make sure that you hit everything you need to hit so your point can be well made and well elaborated. So let's take a look at what Ms. White wrote. Unfortunately, you know, with time, I couldn't sit and write the essay out for you, so I wrote it before class started. This is what I came up with for happiness. I think my marker is on. Great. Happiness varies person to person and is a complex concept to define. However, if one were to provide a definition for this term, it would be a feeling in which one's experiences leave him or her with absolute pleasure, contentment, and positive vibes. What part of the essay is this? It's my introduction, and you know in the introduction I have some type of hook and I have my thesis statement. Do I define happiness? What is the definition of happiness according to Ms. White? Zion, read the definition. I'm going to highlight it while you read it. Where's my... Alright, okay, someone help him out. Drew, tell me what to define.
It would be a feeling
Alright?
in which one experiences leadership, absolute pleasure, contentment, and positive vibes.
I have a definition, don't I? Look at your introduction. Do you have a definition of heroism?
Yep.
Read your introduction. I want you to go back into your writing. Look at your introduction. Does your thesis provide a clear definition of heroism? If it does not, this is where notes come in. I want you to write to the side of your paper. Look what I'm doing here. If I do not have a clear definition, if I did not define heroism, I'm going to write notes off to the side. I need a definition, right? You know I hate this thing.
You can make it bigger.
I don't know, whatever. Do you get what I'm doing here? You want to write notes next to, this is the revision process, you guys. You have to write notes to yourself to tell yourself what you have to improve. So on your paper, your essay, this is your ticket out my door past me today, I need you to see notes. If you did do this, you put a check mark. Put a check mark next to where you did it at.
Can you come see if mine is clear, because
Nope, you are assessing your own.
What is it?
You need to
Mine,
assess
I'm
This
not
way.
good at
This
that.
way.
Yes, you are.
I need a definition. Ms. White, is mine?
Corinne, sit down. You keep standing up in front of me, but sit down.
I ain't know that, I ain't seen that.
I'm not. You're doing, this is the revision process. You're gonna do it yourself. If you feel like it's great, put a check mark next to it. You're gonna have to learn how to dictate and control your own writing. You will not always have a teacher with you to tell you yes and no, yes and no. No. Trust me, you'll be fine. We're going through 3 or 4 drafts of this, so you'll be fine. Just if you define that face, Avery. If you defined, you gave a definition, that's good enough. All right, let's move on because I'm running out of time. All right, so let's break Ms. White's writing down by the pie strategy. Here's my first body paragraph. Sorry, I did not indent. I might have some misspelling because, again, I just typed this up when I realized I wouldn't have time to type while we're sitting here. Happiness may be achieved through many forms of achievements that do not necessarily benefit the individual, but the greater good. Acts such as helping those in need or volunteering for a greater cause are experiences that lead individuals to absolute happiness. For example, in Mulan, Ping risked her life to obtain honor for her family. For her family. Making her family proud and saving her country were selfless acts that fulfilled Mulan with a happiness that some can only dream to attain. Mulan's atypical behavior illustrates what true happiness looks like when experienced through these means. That's my first body paragraph. So let's break it. All right, let's break this down. You guys write just as well. I can brag. Yes, you do. All right, let's talk. I want to break this down by pie. In your group, break my essay down. Break it down. Tell me my point, tell me my illustration, and tell me my explanation of my illustration. I'm sorry?
Be down already.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Oh, I was on.
Give me a second.
I was on.
For example.
I'm waiting on Jacob's group to get to work. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see. When I'm looking at you guys and I see nothing going on. That's a table, yeah.
Oh my God.
Share with your table mates. Brandon, put your head up, honey.
For the P, for the.
Cindy and Richie, what we doing?
And then the
We're
next.
good?
I think it would be.
That's what I was
The pie strategy for us.
Hi. Oh,
We were thinking the first sentence would be
All right, I got to regroup. And Jacob's table got it all right, but you might as well, but that's fine. Back here, focus here. Break my pie down. What's my point? I'm going to start with Jacob's table. What's my point, Amber?
The point is the first sentence.
The first sentence, happiness may be achieved through many forms of achievements that do not necessarily benefit the individual, but the greater good. I hate that I said achieved and achievements. You don't do that. Remember, better word choice than this way. But yes, my first sentence is definitely my point. What about my illustration? Where's my illustration? I want you to tell me, did I illustrate through an example or did I illustrate my example through using a text or a video clip? What did I use? I did use an example of what? Do you see how I provided non-print evidence? We call that non-print evidence, but you can use textual or non-print evidence as well if you didn't have any personal experiences. All right, where's my example?
Where it says, for example.
Ah, very good. For example,
Easy one.
yeah, so hey,